So this is a beginning to a journey of just showing you guys basically a business development videos where I upload daily. I brainstorm. I let you know what we're working on, how we're working on it, what we're accomplishing. And I plan on doing this every day for the next 4 months. So every morning I'm going to get up, record a video, just show you guys what we're working on, how we building. And our goal is to ultimately get this thing to $1 million a month. So we're going to show you guys exactly in real time how we are making $1 million a month. The main source, the main source of generation, that's something I can't share, but everything else we'll share, pretty much everything. How our process works, what we sell, how we sold it, when it's being built, and things like that. So yeah, I want to document this process from the ground up. When I first started in business, I wish I would have documented that process because a lot of people see me build this company from scratch. Let's say through Facebook and Instagram. They saw me just cutting grass. They saw me doing jobs like that. And then I went and I got into these higher end builds where our minimum project is well, our average project is about, 150, 200K for these backyards, all the way from California to Florida. So I wish I would have documented that journey and showed you guys what I did, how I did it, just so the newer guys or the guys behind us or the guys just starting out can go and implement this same process from beginning to end. So what I'm gonna do is for this journey to make $1 million a month, I'm gonna document it from start to finish. So that way guys can go back and copy and paste it, do it exactly how I do it. Put the systems in place, put these AI agents in place, how we sell design, the people we reach out to get these designs in a mass quality, the people I'm putting into place, who I'm hiring, who I'm subbing things out to, pretty much the whole scope. So we're not leaving nothing on the table. So this channel is going to be exactly for the guys who want to implement that $1 million a month schedule and put it into their business, or take a couple of things here and there and put it into their business. I'm also going to just give you guys the brief, but I am diving deep into these things. Let's say for each video, I'm diving deep into my school group. And this is where I work with people more so one-on-one in their business, where they can go ahead and implement these things. And I can show them how to make it work with their business. What works for me works for me. What works for you guys may not work for you, what works for me may not work for you. So what I like to do in the group is I like to just talk to the guys one-on-one and see how we could scale their business or scale the design portion of it. So that way, they could make more money, be more profitable. Because the way I scaled my business was stepping into designs. That's when I seen everything change. We also implemented this in other people's business and we seen their business shoot up. So that's pretty much where we at on that. So what I'm going to start you out with, when I first started in business, I wanted the money. I was just chasing the next dollar. I didn't really care about the client. I didn't care about the product. I just wanted to hustle and make my money, work hard, start early, come in late. And I wanted to be the first one to become a millionaire in my family. So with that, you chasing a dead end, and that's what I noticed just by moving how I move now. I was chasing something that was never ending. So that's what ultimately put me where I am today. I had a client who we did a build for, and we actually did a design for this project. And they started to send me pictures of them along with their family members, son, daughters, kids, dogs. They sent me pictures of them just enjoying the yard, to just thank me for that. Just brought my family closer. We're hosting events here. We just really want to thank you for this design. And then at that moment, that's where it clicked that this isn't about money. This isn't about just chasing the next dollar. I wanted everybody to feel that, because even, myself with, just personally family issues in the family, and I know how everyone have family issues. I wanted this backyard space to become a place where everything is now okay. So that's what I started chasing. Now I have my why. At first I didn't have a why, but now I have my why, and that's when it clicked. That's what I want. I wanted every family to enjoy this backyard. So I know that I needed to learn design So that way I can implement this in every project moving forward. I didn't want to just, now chase money and, get some guys, some friends and build these projects. Now I knew I wanted to take this thing to the next level. Right, right now, and with these videos, I don't plan on them being super professional, or I don't plan on them being overly produced. We just gonna get the content out because I know a lot of people, they want to wait till they're ready. Even me, I wanted to wait till I was ready. I wanted to wait until I had the perfect setup. But now I'm just gonna put it out. I'm gonna do a little bit of here and there. I'm gonna share my process with you guys of how I'm putting up these productions. I'm not outsourcing anything. I'm just making sure it's nice and quick. It might be imperfect. It might be me pausing for a bit to gather my thoughts, but I'm just going to put it out for you guys. Right now, the landscape industry is booming. And when I say landscape, I mean outdoor living. Families are tired of having grass as a backyard. Traveling is getting expensive and they want their backyards to be the new resorts. And that ultimately they want to come home to something nice. COVID showed us that design was important for a home, being indoor and outdoor. And that's when it ultimately, I would say, took off for the industry because a lot of people started their business, outdoor living business, 4 to 5 years ago. And now they ultimately want to have these nice luxury spaces where they can build and grow. So if you're looking to get in the industry at this point in time, it's a perfect time. Even 5 years from now will be the perfect time because even us, we get a lot of projects where we come in and this family just had a project complete and we're coming in, we're redesigning it, we're ripping it out. A brand new, maybe 50,000, 70,000, 100, 150,000 a project. We're coming in and we're ripping it out because it wasn't intentional. It didn't regulate with the family. They didn't absolutely love it. It didn't pull them outside. So we're creating these spaces where it does all of those things and they ultimately want that. So as long as you have a niche and you know what you want to do, then getting into the landscape industry is just the right move for you. The Also, the first time I knew people were spending this type of money on a design was this guy who turned out to be a complete snake. But I'm glad he came when he came in because he taught me a few things about design. Basically, introduction design. I always say it's not a lot of people that can say they made you unless they can put, $1 million worth of work in your hand and, you go out and complete that. It's really up to you guys to, even in my group, you don't, success isn't guaranteed just because you paid the $55 a month or whatever. At right now, the price is 55, but I'm sure it's going to go up pretty soon. But you can't just automatically expect the success without putting the work in. So yeah, so he brought me to the Airbnb where we was at a Tony Robbins event and they told me, he said, yeah, man, you guys tell Craig what your minimum is. And I'm in here, I'm meeting with these guys. I got Balenciaga's on, name brand, McQueen shirt. I'm just out there decked out. I'm the one with the most money, but really I was the brokest person in the room. The people with the money, you didn't even know they had money. You didn't even know these guys were multimillionaires. So I walk in the room and they tell me, Craig. I mean, he's like, yeah, tell Craig your minimum for your projects. And it's probably about 10 people in there. And so this was around COVID. This is when I first started. I didn't even have like a $10,000 project yet. So they told me, yeah, well, our minimum since it's COVID, things are slowing down and we're really slow on work and we're just addicted to the change. We have to let some people go. Our minimum right now is 250,000. Then the other guy, our minimum 150,000. Our minimum is, 275. We don't do any projects under 120,000. So I'm listening. I'm like, I'm like, what in the world? Is paying this money for their backyards. I was used to landscaping, mulch, rocks, gravel, sod installations and things like that. But this is what took my mindset to the next level, to know that people was putting this type of money into their backyard. Now I know it's possible. Now I know I can go out and get these things. So moving forward, when I motivate people, I don't motivate them through words. I motivate them through showing them. I have to actually become this person in order to show people how to become a certain person. So now that's when I started chasing those big projects. What I advise people, oh, and I did sell my first $400,000 project. Would I advise people to just go out and chase these big projects? No, I wouldn't. I would want you to get your systems, your process, get your team on the same page, make sure there's team culture and things like that. So that was the first thing. And that's when I actually realized people were spending this money, putting it into their backyards. And that's where I got the idea from to go and get these big projects. Now, that might not be good for a lot of people. That might not be what a lot of people want to do. But that's why it's important to know what you want to do in business, what you want to accomplish in business, and then you go after that goal rather than just waking up, starting landscaping, and then just kind of going with the flow, not knowing where you want to end up. That's a perfect way to get lost and just putting out quality that you aren't in love with. So yeah, the first thing is finding your why you in business, and the finished result. So yeah, so I learned that, and what took me from those smaller jobs, what took me from those, $2,000 jobs, $5,000 jobs, was the design. The design and the design process is what took me from here to here. This is what took me to brand where we are known for high-end outdoor living spaces, where we're known for, if you want to come to us, you're going to spend money because this is the product, this is what we put out, and things like that. So for the revenue bucket, what we plan on doing, let me just switch the screen here. So what we plan on doing right now is I plan on ultimately, let's see here. This is how we plan on, I don't know where to pen at here. Probably edit this out, but let's go with orange. Let's go with green since we're talking money. All right. So what we plan on doing is, let's label this income. Oh, all right. So how do we plan on getting this income in, right? That's the number one thing. And right now, oh shit, first time, y'all, first video. So for income, the first thing we want to do is, well, let's do this. Let's start over. I'm about to go in and get these settings right. Okay. Fuck. All right. Let's get this shit out the way too. All righty, guys. First video. We're gonna get it right. We're gonna get better. Like I said, I might not even edit this out because we don't want everything perfect. Let's see if it's better like this. No. All right. All right. So income. All right. Number one, the first thing we want to do, obviously, is high-end design fees. Damn, this shit look crazy. Maybe I should just write it. Yeah. Yeah, we just gonna write it, guys. This shit don't look good. All right. I don't know, y'all, but okay. First thing we're gonna do, high-end design fees. So that's first. And I'm saying high-end design fees because one of our number one sources of income right now is the higher end design fees. I actually just closed a few projects above 20,000 for the design. So we want to capitalize on those pretty much worldwide and pretty much get those high end design fees in. Another source of income would be project management fees. And the reason for this is we want to essentially, let's say our project management fee is about 13 to 15%. And we get that after we sell the design for the client. Is where we find the contractor. We pretty much do all the legwork for them. So let's say on a $100,000 project, we're looking at around 15,000 there, plus design fees, plus finder's fee. So that's pretty much on a $100,000 project. That's with us just designing and selling the project, but we do plan on pretty much 10x in that. Number three would be contractor partnerships. Now, contractor partnerships, we do design for a lot of contractors. I would say our yearly revenue, monthly revenue, I would say maybe around 75K for that. So we want to 10x that and get those numbers up. So we want to reach out to more contractors. We want to design for more contractors, but not just any contractors, more so higher end contractors and just people who know that needing a design and that design process is very important. So that's another thing that we want to do. Let's get into number 4. So for number 4, how we plan on it is, let's see here, referrals and commission. So pretty much referrals and the commission is us referring, people referring to us. We want to put out some nice referral programs. We want to put out some commission programs because we are hiring some sales guys in. So we do plan on expanding with the salespeople. I'm not going to get too much into that one because it's pretty self-explanatory. And then also we are going to work with, right now we're working with developers. Let me see, did it switch? Oh, did it close? No, it didn't. Okay. So right now we're working with, yeah, this is crazy. Let's see. So right now we're working with, all right, there we go. So right now we're working with developers, real estate agents, and that's pretty much just to get more work. So we want to hit these numbers. We want to get in front of more people, and that's ultimately the goal. So we got some other revenue buckets that we'll tap into, but I do want to get into questions. So we do get a few questions, and that's what I'm going to start these videos with. I want to start answering questions so that way you guys can know, we're listening. I can help you guys. So on these videos, just make sure that you drop a comment under these YouTube videos. So that way in my next video, I can answer those questions since we're going to be posting every day. So if you need help with anything, feel free to drop those questions under my videos. And we'll just start here on these. This one is out of Hardscape Mentor to Herd. We get a lot of great questions in there. We help a lot of guys out. So good insight. What does competitive pricing look like for design in your experience? Obviously subject to scope of work, but anything that makes it easier to qualify and close a client is always helpful. I could spend a lot of time on design work and find it often tough to recruit that if we don't close the job. Designing with plants always add an extra challenge because then I'm checking with nurseries to ensure I'm picking plants that are actually available. Then sometimes it's hard to find an existing model of said plants. Now you're back down. Another time suck rabbit hole. So just to get to the first part of the question is, what does competitive pricing look like for design in your experience? So there are different tiers and people do things differently. For me personally, I want to be known to charge high design fees because of the quality we deliver. You have some guys who want to charge maybe $500, $1,000, or a couple $100 just to get the job, just to get some type of commitment up front. And then they go and at least we know this client spends money with us now, but just getting something for that design fee matters. And then they just initially sell the job, put the cost into the project. It depends on what you want to do. If you're a design to build company, I recommend charging for that design as a separate service. What a lot of guys do is they try to tie it all into one thing. But what you want to do is the design is needed for this construction. We can't do the construction without the design. The design requires a designer. If you're just going in as a contractor who's doing the designs, then that's when you undervalue the design phase. The design phase is so important, and I don't know how to make that any clearer. The clients need a design. They need you to spend that time to find the plants. They need you to make sure these things are in stock so that way we don't have to wait. So that way we don't come up with a design and then have to wait 5 months to 6 months to put it in because the pavers wasn't ready or the plants wasn't ready. So design is its own entity. It needs to be charged separately, paid for separately, and it doesn't need to go into construction. You guys can say that, okay, yeah, if you go with that design, we could put 50% into this construction phase, but ultimately that design needs to be paid for on its own. So that's number one. Obviously, subject to scope of work, but anything that makes it easier to qualify and close a client is always helpful. So what we do is we send each client. So first, when the client reaches out, our admin just gets the information. They put them in contact with me. What I do is I give them a call, about a 30-minute phone conversation where I'm pre-qualifying them. And if they qualify, I send them a form. And this form is about a 30 to 45-minute question form where they fill out where I get all the information. If they don't qualify, then what I'm doing is, what they don't qualify, what I'm doing is I am just sending them to another company. Hey, it doesn't look like we'll be a good fit for you. Google a company. Okay, this company here, they'll take care of you. But if they qualify, they fill out the form, 35-minute form. Then we move into the questionnaire form, Zoom call or a phone call. And that's where I go over everything they put in the form. And then I get them the design price. All this is done virtually. And this is a design process. This is what clients respect. They respect the time we took out. They respect us by making it to the meetings and things like this. The design phase is respected and it should be respected. After that, we move into the design. After that, we get into construction. So the design phase needs to be its own phase. It needs to be its own entity. It needs to be its own payment. The design phase, even though you're a contractor or contractors out there, you need to separate those two. I could spend a lot of time on design and work and find it often tough to recoup that if we don't close the job. Yeah, exactly. So that's why you guys got to start charging separately. Here are some more questions. Do you eat 4 meals a day? No, I don't. I eat 3 meals a day. If I had the time to eat 4, I would. So that's pretty much where I'm at with that. These meals are full of protein, full of fats. My goal is to gain weight. I'm gaining a little weight, so that's good. I need to know how to get more calls for work. I sent you a message the other day. Yeah, to get more calls, what we do is we post content. We target different people, contractors, developers, real estate agents, clients. We want different avenues of income from different people. So that way, when contractors slow down, we have our clients. If clients slow down, we have developers. If developers slow down, we have real estate agents, and so on and so forth. So we don't want to rely on one thing, or we don't want to just rely on Google or marketing or Facebook ads or Instagram ads and things like that. We want to get as much income from different sources as we can. So workout plan, drop the gyms 5 days a week. I learned working out that is different muscles. Well, I already knew that, but in your chest, you could think you work in chest, but you need to work the different muscles in the chest, which is different machines. So workout plan, get a trainer. Meal prep is important. What you're eating, protein is important. Working out, just going hard, at least 2 hours in the gym. Recovery is important. Rest is important. And that's how we get in the guns, if you know what I mean. I think UVision is solid for the money from my PC that has hardware from 2018. UVision is slept on. I started on UVision and there's nothing like how it is now. UVision is only like $500 a one-time fee, and it renders really good. I know guys like Cruise Line, he's selling 200K projects and up using UVision. Sean Collins, I think that's how you pronounce his name. He is selling big designs with UVision. So I always tell people it's not the software, it's how you put the design together and relate it to the client. I can sell these designs on a pen and pad, but I obviously don't, but it's not the rendering software that matters, guys. What are you using to get the 3D scans? That's awesome. So this isn't a 3D scan. This is actually rendered and pretty much put together, one line at a time. How do you get a 3D scan from a drone? We don't get a 3D scan from a drone. What we're doing is we're modeling, but they do have drones that do scan the home. It scans the elevations, the trees, it put everything where you need it. Those things are like $7,000, $8,000. So it's pretty much me investing in a machine like if I was a construction worker, except for I'm a designer. Oh, I'm supposed to be showing the question. Sorry. Have you ever used Hover for ready-made house 3D models? If you haven't, then I would recommend starting using it. It says use time. I would probably start using that. I don't right now. What program do you use for the models to attach and render in software? Is it like SketchUp? So we use SketchUp and then we import it into, so we use SketchUp and we import it into Lumion, 3D Max, 5D Max, whichever rendering software we're using at the time. So that's how we do it. How long does it take you to make? How long does it take you to make? So these designs could take anywhere from a week to 2 weeks, depending on the in-depth of it. And then we render it. Rendering can literally take almost 2 days to render. Right now we're at about, it depends on what software we're using. Lumion, 2 to 3 hours. If we're using something like 3D Max, then literally 48 hours, almost 35 hours. So we're looking for some people who have some more powerful computers right now so we can get those out faster. Are you using multiple software per each design? So yeah, so right now we're using SketchUp, Lumion. We might use some AI. We hardly use AI, but if we got the time, we do. So basically SketchUp, Lumion, 3D Max, things like that. What computer do you use? So right now we're using the MSI gaming PCs with upgrades. That's pretty much so we can try to get these renders out as fast as we can. But we do have multiple designers, everyone using pretty much their own home computer. So, but this is the main one that we're sending out to the guys. What has the best plant material? So for the plant material, what we're doing is we're creating them. So pretty much all the plants we use are pretty much custom made, unless they are like perfect, like the hydrangea or the palm trees. In the software, we don't do the plant wear on SketchUp. We do the plant selection on Lumion or the rendering software because it just comes out a lot better. What model iPad are you using? Looking to upgrade my setup this week. So I'm using an iPad Pro 12.9 inch, 5th generation. I actually have a newer iPad now. I didn't set it up yet, but pretty much that's the iPad I'm using. It works great in the field, at home, taking it anywhere. You can get it with internet, things like that. So concepts. Do you recommend a good program to get started on this? That does not cost me a fortune. I'm using the Veno 2-in-1 with Windows. So yeah, I always recommend UVision. It's $500 one-time fee, and you can ultimately create some gorgeous stuff with this. And it's not like SketchUp where you have to pretty much just do everything one by one. You can literally import a house or draw the house super easy, put a nice backyard with it. It's super easy. If you guys aren't using Concepts app, I definitely recommend it. So that's pretty much all for the questions. Some things I also want to add is that we are not, let's see. So just to jump into some other things. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, always drop them down in the YouTube so that way I can get them answered for you guys. And also just some scaling strategy. What we plan on doing is we plan on hiring 5 more designers. What we're going to do is we're going to hire 2D drafters. What these guys would do is pretty much just, so right now we changed it. First, we were looking for people who could do the draft and the renders. Now we're separating them to that. We want the guys who can do the 2D drafts, and then we want the people who can render. So the 2D drafters will 2D draft all day long, and the rendering guys will pretty much render everything, basically put the design together. So that's pretty much how we're doing it now. And that works a lot better. The sales team we're hiring 3 salespeople. We got a bunch of interviews going on through Indeed right now. Right now we got 1 person hired. We're still looking for 2 more. So with these people, they're going to be pretty much in charge for reaching out to everyone from California to Florida. We're getting them trained. And that's pretty much how we want to grow in that way. We also want to focus in on our systems. So using Go High Level, using these AI agents, strengthening our pipeline, and just making sure these clients aren't forget about, making sure we're getting these designs out on time, and making sure that the client satisfactory is really good. Also with content, we're going to be posting these videos, helping you guys out. I want to grow my school group to at least $100,000 a month. I want to do that before the year is over. So the content is going to help. posting consistently. YouTube is really top of the funnel, and we want to pretty much do content, put content out, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and that's pretty much the goal. So I know what people. So I also want to mention is, when you guys do want to start, you have to just start. So don't wait until you think you're ready. Don't wait until your friend helps you, or, you know, don't wait for your family to support you. If you want to do it, you have to do it. You have to do it when you're not ready. You have to do it when it's hard. You have to do it when it's easy. The most important thing is doing it. And that'll put you ahead of a lot of people. You don't need a lot of expensive software. You don't need years of experience. You don't need all the answers. You just need direction and reps. Once you get the direction and you just keep getting those reps in, you're good to go. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Don't be afraid to jump in it head first and learn as you go. That's pretty much what a lot of people is doing behind the scenes. We just post like we got it all together, but I'm here to tell you that it's not like that. Everyone don't have it figured out. So something that you guys could take some immediate action today is by download SketchUp. I don't think SketchUp costs anything. If it does, it's probably like $25 a month. But download Concept app. Concept apps is really good. You can start sketching today. You can also start studying high-end spaces. So look at my Instagram, look at my website, find companies who's doing what I'm doing, high-end outdoor living spaces. Go to their website, just study them. I also watched this guy on YouTube called The Backyard Guy. I want to say it's called The Backyard Design Guy or something like that. He has very informational videos, so that will help a lot too. Also, think in zones. So when we do these backyards, we try to keep each area as a zone. So we have our outdoor kitchen zone, we have our relaxing area zone, living room, family room, things like that. Entertainment space. So we want to design a zone, not plants or not just throwing things out there. That'll help you guys too. And then learn how people live in spaces. So go in places like Pinterest where people are actually enjoying the backyard. Just look at where they are, how they are enjoying it, and try to relate to that. And then start designing these backyards on a 2D Concept app. And you guys can start just trying to realize how the client lives and works in that backyard. So also, if you're serious about learning about this landscape design, how to strengthen your numbers, how to grow as a business as far as by adding this design, which is the first phase, join the school group. It's very helpful. It's broken down into phases as far as a month one, which is the foundation of design. It's a 30-day plan. It's 3 months. Each one is 30 days. The first one is the foundation of design. We're learning why design is important. Why do we need to separate it? Why is it its own entity? Why is it important? Why do the clients need it? And how to explain that to the clients. Month 2 is pricing and selling. So how do we price? How do we sell? Do we charge by the hour? Do we charge per square feet? Do we charge per design? How do we go in front of the client and present this? How do we sit down and have a meeting? What questions do I ask? How do I close them on the design? Anything like that. We talk about all that for 30 days in month 2. Month 3, we got system and scaling. So once you get the foundation and the selling down pat, we want to set up our systems and processes. So this is now at the point where you scale your design. This is where you scale your design process, attracting more clients. This is where you can drop the client into kind of a funnel. And now the client you could pretty much leave them in the funnel. They'll go through the gist and they might get back to you when it's time for construction or when it's time to bid, just things like that. But we walk you through how to have a good funnel and a good pipeline for these clients. And so that's about it, guys. So for the next 4 months, I'll be posting every day an hour video, just how we do things. So whatever we're working on, you guys will know about it. And I want you guys to join that school group today. I'll be documenting everything. And if you stay consistent, you guys can actually apply this to your business too. So the goal for us is $1 million a month. It's not a specific timeline on that. That's just what we're working on. And I'm gonna document it so that way you guys get the full picture, you guys get the full video, and you know exactly how we did it.